Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is PMS, subject Social Studies, grade 7, lecture number 18. Chapter number 5, Industrialization in the Muslim World. Today we will do written work of the question answers and fill in the blanks. And you will write it in your rough notebooks. Question number 1. What are the reasons behind late industrialization in the Muslim world? What are the reasons behind late industrialization in the Muslim world? Its answer: reasons for late development of industrialization in the Muslim world. Reasons for late development of industrialization in the Muslim world are: colonial powers deliberately discouraged industrialization in the Muslim world as it was the source of cheap raw material for their own industry. Colonial powers deliberately discouraged industrialization in the Muslim world as it was the source of cheap raw material for their own industries. Asia was seen as a source of raw material for the West and a market for their goods. Asia was seen as a source of raw materials for the West and a market for their goods. There was not enough high-grade iron ore, which is the basis of industrial development. There was not enough high-grade iron ore, which is the basis of industrial development. There was also less high-grade coal, which was the source of power for the industries in the 19th century. The discovery of oil and later gas in the 20th century provided a stimulus with its cheap power for the industries. There was also less high-grade coal, which was the source of power for the industries in the 19th century. The discovery of oil and later gas in the 20th century provided a stimulus with its cheap power for industry. The workforce had little experience or education in technology. The workforce has little experience or education in technology. Transport systems were very poor. Transport systems were very poor. Question number 2. Pakistan has many tourist spots of historical and cultural interest. Name some of them. Pakistan has many tourist spots of historical and cultural interest. Name some of them. Its answer: important tourist spots of historical and cultural interest are Taxila, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, Shahi Fort in Lahore, Bala Hisar Fort in Peshawar. Important tourist spots of historical and cultural interest are Taxila, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, Shahi Fort, Lahore, Bala Hisar Fort, Peshawar. Give short answer to the questions below. Question number 1. Why is industry important for a country? Why is industry important for a country? Its answer is: industry is the most important factor in the development of a country as it creates wealth and improves the economy. Industry is the most important factor in the development of a country as it creates wealth and improves the economy. Question number 2. Which is the most industrialized Muslim country and what does it produce? Which is the most industrialized Muslim country and what does it produce? Malaysia is the most developed country in the Muslim world. Malaysia produces high-tech electrical equipment, processed food, chemicals, and textile. It is a major producer and exporter of rubber, tin, and oil. It also has a flourishing tourist industry. Malaysia is the most developed country in the Muslim world in the field of industrialization. Malaysia produces high-tech electrical equipment, processed foods, chemicals, and textile. It is a major producer and exporter of rubber, tin, and oil. It also has a flourishing industry. Question number 3. List the main industries in Indonesia. List the main industry in Indonesia. Its answer is Indonesia produces electronic equipment for local use and export. There are also textile, chemicals, and paper factories. Shipping facilities in the main port cities facilitate export. There is a flourishing tourist industry too. Indonesia produces electronic equipment for local use and export. There are also textile, chemicals, and paper factories. Shipping facilities in the main port cities facilitate export. There is a flourishing tourist industry too. Complete these statements. The capital of the UAE is Abu Dhabi. The capital of the UAE is Abu Dhabi. The world's biggest flower is Rafflesia. Rafflesia is the world's biggest flower. People visit Saudi Arabia mainly for pilgrimage. People visit Saudi Arabia mainly for pilgrimage. Beside, besides the manufacture of various goods, dash is the other important industry in the Muslim countries, tourism. Beside the manufacture of various goods, tourism is the other important industry in the Muslim countries. Langkawi and Sarawak are famous for the ancient Dash and Des, Tamarind Falls and Naib Caves. Langkawi and Sarawak are famous for the ancient Tamarind Falls and the Naib Caves. Note your homework from the chart on industries shown on page 26. Calculate the total values of the industrial products of the Muslim countries. Look at the chart on page 26. Green color shows Muslim countries. You can see that Muslim world or Muslim countries are far behind in the field of industries. Write all these question answers and fill in the blanks in your rough notebook.